first episode of Candice Ruggiero Love Speaks. And I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a keynote speaker, host of Intentional Excellence podcast, educator, former school owner, and entrepreneur. I have one word, one word for you tonight. I'm honored to share this space with you. In this show, we speak about love for yourself, love for others, and love for the world. Together, we'll explore ways to embrace who you are, uplift those around us, and create ripples of positive change. I chose to launch this show during the holiday season because this is the season of love, connection, and giving. And what better time to reflect on how we can make love the foundation of our lives? But now, so wherever you're tuning in, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn, I just want to say thank you for being here. So let's start with the foundation of it all. That is self love. Self love is a practice of honoring who you are, showing yourself acceptance, kindness, and compassion. It's about prioritizing your well being, embracing your strength as well as your flaws, and treating yourself with the same care and respect you offer to others. For me, self care is big. My journey started September 2023 of last year, which was one of the hardest moments of my life. Instead of celebrating Labor Day, we were at the hospital because my husband passed away. In an instant, my world changed completely. It changed emotionally, mentally, and financially. I was brought down to the lowest point of my life. I was grieving, I was confused and, you know, overwhelmed because one change after another hit me rapidly and hard. I even had to take 5 weeks off from work because I needed to heal because I was covering up. I was keeping it to myself until I finally lost it. But honestly, I had that 5 weeks, but I didn't know where to start. I felt lost, weak, and I had some form of depression at that time. I had to be strong for my children, and I played roles that I never played ever in my life. But inside, I felt broken. Um, I was getting ready for school one morning when I was walking and went to the bathroom to change when I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror. And what I saw stopped me in my tracks. I didn't recognize the person looking back at me. I saw someone who was scared, someone sad and unmotivated. And that's not me. I know myself. I've been always smiling, I've been always happy. But the person in the reflection wasn't me, wasn't me at all. So that moment, I made a decision because I knew I couldn't keep living this way. The pain of losing my husband became the driving force for my transformation. So that morning, I committed to starting a new journey, one of self care and one of self love. So I sat down and made a list of the things that I liked about myself and the things that I didn't like about myself. So the things that I didn't like about myself became areas I wanted to grow and improve on. And that list became my guide. Before I knew it, I was taking action. I started changing physically, like my wardrobe. I was heavier last year, and just I wanted a change. Even my hair, makeup routine, I needed a change, and it felt good. I signed up for the gym and paid more attention to how I looked and how I felt. Even medically, I had to go see a doctor and made sure that I was, my medical health was good. And you know, luckily I was, and I felt so happy that everything about me I was starting to love. I started listening to positive podcasts, and I started reading articles that inspired me. And I really don't like reading. I'd rather watch a video or listen. But I did. I enjoyed reading things that will motivate me, things that will make me a better person. One of the biggest shifts came when I tried something I've never thought I could do: meditation. Because I'm the type of person who my mind is always busy even as a child. Like I'm always thinking and thinking. Um, but the meditation made me learn to quiet my thoughts and focus on peace. And I was able to appreciate the beauty of the present moment. And through meditation and mindfulness, I stopped dwelling on the past and started living in the present, in the moment. Mindfulness is when you live in the present, in the moment, knowing that every step forward would lead me to a brighter future. This journey hasn't just been about self care, it's also about discovering my authenticity. I've learned to value myself. This journey has helped me value myself, love myself, and turn every challenge and trial into my source of strength and resilience. And that's why I'm here with you tonight, because I want to share my story. Not because it's easy to talk about it, or I just want attention, or I want people to know about me. No, it's because I know how powerful self love can be. Believe me, it's the most beautiful journey you'll ever take in your life. So, if you're struggling, know this: you are worth the effort, you are worth the time, and you are capable of transforming your life with love for yourself. Start with yourself. You don't need a defining moment to find self-love. Unfortunately, I had a defining moment to find that. It can start now when you finally realize that, hey, I matter. I matter. Very strong words. So here's a quick challenge for you. I want you to take a moment tonight or tomorrow morning, to reflect on one thing you truly love about yourself. Write it down, say it out loud, and let yourself feel. Let yourself feel it. It's a powerful step toward embracing your own journey of self care. In the second part of our show, we're diving into the power of uplifting others. Supporting and encouraging those around us not only strengthens our connections, but also spreads love and positivity. So, whether it's through a kind word, a small gesture, or just showing you care, lifting someone up can make a lasting impact. So let's talk about how we can be a light in someone's life and inspire them to shine even brighter. So, when my husband passed away, he passed just as the holidays were approaching. That first Thanksgiving, that first Christmas, that first New Year were incredibly hard, not just for me, but for my children. I have three children. We were grieving, hurting, and feeling the emptiness of my husband's absence. But in our own little way, we tried to, stay happy. I mean, it's holidays. We have to. We kept some of our traditions, especially I'm thinking Christmas and Thanksgiving, especially when it came to food. But we made new ones because there were some things that my husband was good at because he's Italian, so he really cooks good food. So there were things that I couldn't do. So we kept some and we made new ones. My kids helped with the cooking. We found moments to laugh, to laugh together despite, the pain. We didn't really put up decorations last year, that year. No Christmas tree, no Christmas light, no trimmings, and that's really new for us because we've always loved being surrounded by this Christmas spirit. But even without all of that, we uplifted each other. I could say that we had the best Christmas no matter the absence or no matter the changes that happened to us. We were there for each other, uplifting each other. One moment also last year that truly stands out to me happened on New Year's Eve. So we celebrated early, and as the night went on, my oldest son wasn't able to join us because he had to show. My son is like a director, editor for music concerts. So he had to show that night. So it was just my teenagers and myself. Usually we have guests over, but this year I just didn't feel like celebrating. So after our dinner early, teenagers, they went to their rooms and, playing on the computer, just social media, and just like speaking with their friends. So I went to my room. We usually wait together for the ball drop because I've always loved, I'm a New Yorker and we always waited for the ball drop, watch the show on TV together as a family. But that year, I don't know, it was just different. We weren't doing that. So I went to my room, New Year's, almost like around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and I just lost it. Like I was crying. Like I felt the loneliness, the emptiness, and just, oh my goodness, I am gonna be alone. New Year's Eve, I'm alone. And again, reality hit me that not just like I'm alone for the rest of my life. So, like holidays make you emotional. Holidays make you reflect. Holidays make you either sad or happy. And I just felt, oh, that something hit me when I went back to the room after dinner, New Year's Eve. No fireworks. We didn't have trumpets. We didn't have anything. I usually have like things to celebrate with my kids to start the year. But oh my God, I didn't even have any of those. Then I was like a little kid crying. That's when I received a text from a dear friend. Her name's Veronica. She's a co-teacher of mine. Her text came just few hours before midnight, inviting me and my family to celebrate with hers. I think it was my first time being with the entire family, so it's like sometimes I feel bad like overstepping, but that message simply touched my heart and reminded me that even the darkest moment, I wasn't alone. Veronica is such a wonderful person. I'm just so lucky to have her as a friend. She was also that same Veronica when the first 2 weeks of my husband's death, instead, we moved from a huge house to a smaller house because, like, for reasons, like the house was too big, it felt so empty and financially overwhelming. That same Veronica came to my house and helped me pack. I had to leave and pick up my daughter, but she stayed for 2 hours and helped me pack the kitchen on her own time. Sometimes you don't realize how lucky you are when you have such wonderful people in your life. Veronica's family welcomed us with open arms New Year's Eve. I even brought my daughter with me, and we had such a beautiful time. Their kindness gave me the strength to enjoy the new year and reminded me of the power of love and connection. And to this day, Veronica extends the same invitation every year. She actually invited me again this year because she knows how hard the holidays can be for me. She uplifted me in my darkest moment. She uplifted me. Like her gesture was a reminder that uplifting others doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as a text or an invitation. And Veronica, like, I invited you to watch. I just want you to know that I really, really appreciate you as a friend. You always text me during holidays. Like, I know you invited, was that Labor Day again? Because you knew I was going to be alone. It's just wonderful person. And it's so nice to be uplifted by a person. So remember, even the smallest acts of kindness can make a big difference. And when you choose to lift others up, we create a world filled with love, connection, and hope. So let's continue to spread positivity and be the reason why someone smiles today. So here's a challenge for you. Tomorrow, find one way to uplift someone else. It could be reaching out to a friend, helping a neighbor, or just being patient and kind. Those little, like, maybe maybe like, don't, like, like your mom is so busy cooking, like, just, and like, stop telling her mom, hurry up, just be patient and just be kind. If the stores are busy, be patient and be kind. Those little acts of love truly matter, believe me. In this last part of my show, let's explore how self-love has the power to transform the world, especially during this holiday season. When we take the time to care for ourselves, we show up for others with more kindness, patience, and love. By filling our own cup, we're better able to spread joy, compassion, and positivity to those around us. This season is the perfect time to reflect on how loving ourselves can inspire acts of giving, connection, and hope that ripple out and make a difference in the world. So let's think about it. Not everyone celebrates the holidays the same way. Some people may not even have the means and the resources to celebrate at all. Well, the holiday season really isn't about material things. A simple celebration can mean so much to someone, especially someone in need. Through my self love journey, I've learned that kindness can be shared in the simplest way, or it can be profound, however you want it, and both can leave an impact. Like this holiday, maybe you can create like sort of like a care bag to donate to the food pantry. I mean, even by starting to look at your pantry, things that are still good and you don't really need it, bring it to the pantry. Or if you have extra means, go buy them groceries and donate it to the food pantry. You don't know how many people rely on it. And also, I have been paying attention to the different community nearby where I live on social media, and I watch for some people who may need help. Like I saw this post of a family not requesting for money, not requesting for anything but clothes, because it's becoming cold here in Florida this season. Like it's actually feeling like the air is just drastic, like overwhelmingly cold, especially if you're not used to the weather. Um, yeah, they were requesting for clothes. And that's a genuine request because they're literally requesting for clothes. So I gathered clothes I may have. I packed them up, especially I have a lot of like winter jackets and coats because I live in Florida. I used to live in New York for like 20 something years. So I packed them up. I messaged the family, and the next day they picked it up. And I, after a few couple of minutes, not really minutes, like a while, I just received a beautiful message from someone, a stranger, who lifted my day. They said I lifted their day, but they also lifted mine. There was also another post that I read where a single mom, there's a picture of single mom and her kids who simply wants food this holiday season. And you really don't know how lucky you are that you have everything when others are suffering. Um, so I think on the public post I said, okay, give me your Venmo or how can I send you money? Of course, here are the negative people again. I mean, not all of them. Some of them meant well. Like, don't do this, don't do that. They're just scammers. They do this every year. Um, like, oh my gosh, all right. I just wanna help. And even if there were scammers, you know what? They will learn their lesson. But if they weren't scammers, just simply asking for food so that they can celebrate in their own special way, then guess what? Then I made an impact to this family. So whatever happens because of this act that I did, you know what? It's all worth it. They're going to learn their lesson, and at the same time, I can help them in my own little way. It wasn't even that big. It was my own little way. Um, the best way also, um, for me, I made a career change. I'm now a keynote speaker, a podcaster, um, I guess a social media creator. I don't know if you can consider me that. And for me, the best way that I show my self love to help transform more people is me speaking, me sharing my quotes, me making videos and sharing my story on social media. And I have several social media platforms, and I do have following worldwide. And I feel that through my post, I can reach a lot of people. And I also post a few times during the day. And I'm not posting just for the sake of monetizing or engagement. I don't care if my engagement is low or high. If I can reach and touch a person's thoughts and feelings because of what I share, I'm happy. I fulfilled my role. I've done my job as a speaker. I've done what I've been aching to share inside, which is just spreading this beautiful sense of loving yourself, because I've never felt so happy in my life. I just simply want to share it. As someone who is very active on social media, I make sure that my post is intentional. Each and every time I post, I share a piece of me, my joy, my fears, my challenges, my doubts, and especially how I overcome them. And also, when I read quotes, when I see quotes, I I like to self-reflect most of the time and see how that quote resonates with me. So it's vice versa. Your posts are also helping me. So I hope that you are also intentional with what your post. Stop the negativity. Post something nice. Post something that can change someone's life, or someone who learn how to appreciate and value what life truly is, whether good or bad. Stop sharing, like, I don't know, just stop being mean in social media. Maybe also you can hold back on commenting something hurtful. That's big, because sometimes that's hard for others. Just don't say anything. My grandma always told me, my mother-in-law always told me, because my grandma passed away early, that if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. You know what? And lastly, another beautiful way to spread kindness is by showing gratitude to the people around you, especially to those who give you service year round. These are the people we often overlook during the holidays. Your postman, your garbage collector, your child's teacher, or even the secretary in the doctor's office. Honestly, even the barista in the coffee shop. You know what? Consider leaving them a small token of kindness. It could be a handwritten card, cookies that you bake, or even a little cash if you can. You know what? These little gestures can brighten someone's day and remind them that their work is valued and appreciated. And maybe, just maybe, when you see a homeless on the street, stop for a moment, wish them Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, or smile. You can offer a little, like whatever cash you have, or maybe buy them food. You really don't know what others may be going through. That simple gesture, that simple smile can truly brighten someone's day. And for me, this holiday season, I want to be a catalyst for spreading love and transforming the world, not just through my podcast that I have. It's called Intentional Excellence, but also through this live show, but all, through these intentional acts of kindness in my daily life. I want to share that. So I challenge you to find one way to spread kindness this week, whether it's sharing a beautiful part of your day with others, donating to a cause you care about, or simply choosing positivity over negativity. Please remember, your light has the power to help others shine. Together, let's transform this holiday season into one of the true with true love and compassion. And as we approach Christmas Eve tomorrow, and I know in some parts of the world it's already tonight, or whatever holiday you are celebrating, let's carry this mindset forward, not just for the holidays, but into the new year. Let's be intentional about spreading love and kindness in everything that we do. Because you never know how far your small acts of kindness can go. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight for this first episode of Candice Ruggiero Speak. This is going to be weekly. It's a mission. I just want you to remember, and I just want to share with you that this show is not just a platform, it's a mission. A mission for me, for us to inspire love, hope, and connection. I couldn't have done this without all of you, without you watching me right now. Your presence here tonight made this first live show a success, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. I want to leave you with this. Love is the greatest gift we can give, whether it's to ourselves, to our loved ones, or to the world. It starts small, but it has the power to grow, to heal, and to transform lives. Remember, your light matters, your kindness matters, and together we can create a ripple effect of love that will make the world brighter, not just for the holidays, but every single day. And from my heart to yours, Merry Christmas. And may your holiday season be filled with love, connection, and joy. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on December 30th for the next episode of Candice Ruggiero Love Speaks. Love Speaks. Good night. I love you.